Welcome to part 2 of the Aptio Setup Utility Fix video. This is a continuation of a very integral part of the solution, which is part 1. So if you arrived here without going through part 1, which is only 3 minutes long, I suggest you go back there because you'll be missing a lot. And before we begin, this is the Aptio Setup Utility on an Asus computer. I also happen to have another machine here, an Aspire machine. And as you can see, it also has a setup utility called InsydeH2O. InsydeH2O. It is blue and similar to the actual setup utility of the Asus computer. I also happen to have a third machine, and this machine is a Lenovo computer, and it has its own setup utility, a blue screen, Lenovo Setup Utility. It also has a flash disk plugged in, and this flash disk contains its savior, the solution that will restore our computer back to normal. And we talk about this flash disk in part 1. So if you missed part 1, you need to go back there. It's only 3 minutes long. Now I'm showing you all these setup utilities because they are similar. They point to a similar problem and they have a similar fix. And in all of them, we only need one page, this boot page over here. So on this boot menu is where we shall be forcing our computer to wake up from our special little flash disk, the one that we made in part 1. So we will force our machine to use it to power on. And every setup utility normally has its own specific keys that can be used to alter the boot order. So what I want you to do here is make anything that has a USB on the name to be amongst the top in the priority, especially this USB HDD. So that's just about it for our Aspire computer. All that is left is plugging in our special flash disk that contains our 13 special files. I've already discussed how to get these files in part 1 of this solution series, so find it and get the 13 files, put them in a flash disk, and then once it's plugged in, all that is left is saving the changes and restarting your computer, just like that. And once your computer restarts, it will not get into the Aptio Setup Utility or the utility that you have. It will instead run from the flash disk. The 13 files will be in action and the solution shall have already begun. So I'll jump into our Lenovo just to prove that they are the same. The solution is not yet done. I will just come back later, but let me just jump into the Lenovo just to see that the boot thing is similar for all the computers. So here is our Lenovo, and as you can see, our special flash disk is plugged in. It's also plugged in here. And what I want you to do here is go to the startup, the Lenovo setup, and go to the boot. So startup and boot have a similar meaning. And as you can see, we have a boot priority order, similar to the other one of the Aspire computer, the InsydeH2O, which is also similar to the one of the Aptio Setup Utility. So there are instructions of moving an item up and down the priority order, but on this computer I can only move it down, the one that I want, which is the USB HDD. I can only move it down. The upwards key is not working. So what I will do is simple. I will make every other item go below the USB HDD. Okay, so that Windows Boot Manager will go below the USB HDD. That one will also go below. The USB CD also should go below. The PCI, whichever, all those that are above the USB HDD also need to go below it. Even the ATA needs to go below. So the USB HDD is at the top of the list now. Okay, so that's just about it. You find the boot order in your setup utility and make sure the USB HDD is on the top of the list so that we force the computer to power on using the flash disk. After that, you exit and save changes, and this should restart your computer. So just give it a while and you shall see that it will boot up into a similar screen like the one of the Aspire computer. So this may take a while depending on the speed of your computer. So I'll just fast forward. But one thing that we can agree on is that when the computer powers back on, it doesn't go back to the setup utility. It now is forced to boot from the flash disk. And here we are, a similar window like the one for the Aspire computer. I guess the solution has now begun. We have started to see some glimmer of hope, and the computer is no longer scary.
And I will introduce it by a picture of my screensaver. As you can see, it is titled Imaginations, and it is a bunch of differently colored doors and a key over here. So as you can see, the first shape on the key is the love shape, and then the electric sign opens the next door, and then after the electric sign is the star sign that opens the other door, and then the diamond opens the next one, and then the triangle opens the next one. The square and the circle shapes are hidden from the image, but the door opens in that order. It is the square and then the circle. And you may be wondering why I'm showing you this image. You may have noted that these doors open backwards instead of the usual expectation. One would expect them to open in the forward direction. The point of this image is that the human mind is capable of so many levels of imagination, and you have to open them in the correct order for you to access most of them. Your level of imagination right now, as we speak, is a stepping stone to the next one. And once you unlock the next level of imagination, you realize that you are capable of so much more than you could ever imagine. And guess what? That next level is also a stepping stone to the next one. So the channel announcement is that I will be sort of pivoting the content of this channel to help you access deeper levels of imagination, and it will not be an easy journey for me and for you, but it will be worthwhile, because by the end of it all, I am planning to have left enough knowledge to make you a self-sufficient software engineer. What I mean by this is that I will give you the basics of how successful social media companies like Instagram works, and we will also make our own rendition or version of it. I know such videos are already on the internet. Just search how to clone Instagram on YouTube and all sorts of source codes will pop up. But that is not my style. I will teach you how to write code in the most interesting way. How will I do that? I will unlock the levels of imagination by sneaking into your mind via the back door and unlocking those wires that are conducive for good programming. And if you ask me exactly how I will achieve that, the answer is pretty simple. We only have to give your mind a bit of foreplay, imagination foreplay. Stoicism and philosophy is the best kind of imaginative foreplay you can give to your mind, but that is too deep to begin with. Also, it is something that you introduce to somebody subtly without their knowledge. So before philosophy and programming, I'd like us to begin in the softest way possible. That is gaming. It is the simplest way to test the waters. So we will begin and complete a full game before we can begin any form of programming. Trust me, I have done it before, and this is the best way to understand programming. Just start by being an expert gamer. I selected Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4 because of its ease of access. It's accessible to many and it is simple to install. So this is the end of my narration. if this is something that you are or you will be interested in, you want to see how it plays out, please click the subscribe button. I will leave you with the trailer for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4 so that you see if it is something that you will be interested in.
So I'll rewind back to where we had restarted our Aspire computer or our Asus computer. As long as your boot priority order is the way I told you to put it, USB HDD at the top, restart your computer with the special flash disk plugged in, and you will arrive right where we are right now, which is here. Okay? So we are no longer at the Aptio Setup Utility. So from here, everything is self-explanatory. Just click on Next and Install Now, and the setup should begin. From here, everything runs smoothly. Click on I do not have a key. I do not have a product key down here. And then give it a few seconds. It should load into a bunch of windows. Select Windows 10 Pro, which is the best. Click on Next. From here, everything is downhill. Everything is just downhill and self-explanatory. Agree to the terms and conditions that nobody ever reads. So we are collecting information over here, and then the second part is installation. So click on Next after accepting the terms, and then here the option that you require for your computer is custom install Windows only, the second option. So the next part is where you select the partition where your software shall be installed. So Windows software, and this is what is normally called the local disk C, the primary disk. And sometimes you'll find out that none of the disks can be used to install this operating system. And for such a case, I'll make a video later. But right now I'm dealing with the people who have disks that are okay and they are working okay. So select the one that, just give me a second. So look at this one. This one has just one disk partition, which is the local disk C. It only has one partition and it can allow me to install. So I will click on Next and the installation should begin now. Okay. Now once you're here, you can confirm that you have already saved your computer. From here, what's left is what we call the simple part. Okay, you can do it on your own. I will not get into that. As you can see, this is the Lenovo. I already have fixed it and it is ready to use.
you are or you will be interested in, you want to see how it plays out, please click the subscribe button. I will leave you with the trailer for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4 so that you see if it is something that you will be interested in.
50,000 people used to live here. Now it's a ghost town.
Our so-called leaders prostituted us to the West, destroyed our culture, our economies, our honor.
U.S. Marines stationed on high alert were given the order to invade the small
Just as they lay waste to our country, we shall lay waste to theirs.
You think this will stop the bloodshed?
Вы все равно скоро сдохнете.
We need to take him alive.
So there it is. I will start uploading these videos of the game from February next year. That is 2022, February 2022. So subscribe. I'll start a new game right now as we speak, but I will not play it. I just want you to see the internal environment of the game.
Good news first, the world's in great shape. We've got a civil war in Russia, government loyalists against ultranationalist rebels, and 15,000 nukes at stake.
Just another day at the office.
Khaled al-Assad, currently the second most powerful man in the Middle East. Now word on the street is he's got the minerals to be top dog down there. Intel's keeping an eye on him.
And the bad news?
We've got a new guy joining us today, fresh out of selection. His name's Soap. Good to see you, mate. Take one of the rifles from the table. You know the drill. Go to Station 1 and aim your rifle down range. Now aim your rifle down range. Now shoot each target while aiming down the sights. Lovely. Now, shoot at the targets while firing from the hip. Now I'm going to block the targets with a sheet of plywood. I want you to shoot the targets through the wood. Bullets will penetrate thin, weak materials like wood, plaster and sheet metal. Good. Now I'm going to make the targets pop up one at a time. Hit all of them as fast as you can. Too slow, mate. Try again. Too slow. Come on, this should be a walk in the park for you. Proper good job, mate. Now go get a sidearm from the armory. Now switch to your rifle. Now pull out your sidearm. Remember, switching to your pistol is always faster than reloading. All right, so, come this way. Using your knife is even faster than switching to your pistol. Knife the watermelon. Nice! Your fruit-killing skills are remarkable. Captain Price wants to see you. It's the FNG, sir. Go easy on him, sir. It's his first day in the regiment.
Right. What the hell kind of name is Soap, eh? How'd a muppet like you pass selection? Soap, it's your turn for the CQB test. Everyone else head to observation. For this test, you'll have to run the cargo ship solo in less than 60 seconds. Gaz holds the current squadron record at 19 seconds. Good luck. Climb the ladder over there.